Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Juliana. This is probably the most excited I've ever been to film a video, and that's because we're going to be talking self-concept, specifically how to change your self-concept to step into the life that you want. I want to say a huge thank you to Stuart Weitzman for sponsoring this video, but more on them later. Now, if you're not familiar with the term self-concept, it's basically the narrative that we tell ourselves about who we are and what we're capable of. And by bettering your self-concept, it's not just self-improvement, but self-actualization. We all have the potential to become the highest and best version of ourselves, and the tips that I want to share in this video are going to help put you on the fast track to your ultimate glow up. Alright, let's begin. I think the first step to self-actualization is to realize your power in creating your own narrative. You'll never be able to change and control others or how they may see you, but at the same time, you have the ultimate control of how you see yourself. And I mean, how we see and judge ourselves is the basis for all of our decisions. Even if someone is born with all the natural gifts in the world, they may not actually go very far in life if they don't apply themselves, or if they themselves don't feel like they have what it takes to accomplish their goals. You are the architect of your own identity. We all craft a story that we tell ourselves about who we are and what we can achieve. And oftentimes, if we aren't proactive about choosing our own self-concept, we inadvertently give that power away to others to choose for us. So it's super important to realize this amazing power that we have. I don't know if you guys ever watch those interviews with actors where they talk about seeing themselves as being famous way before they receive any actual global recognition. Before all the fame, they already chose that mode and identity for themselves. And in doing so, their life and circumstances had no choice but to follow suit.
Obviously, you knew somewhere inside yourself that you were destined to be famous, because I think it's really a marvelous thing, that visualization thing you did, and visualize seeing yourself as...
Yeah, I would visualize,
This is when you were broke and poor.
Right, having directors interested in me and people that I respected saying, I like your work. I would visualize things coming to me that I wanted or whatever.
This was in like 1987, 85,
yeah. And I had nothing at that time, so.
Now, I'm not saying that your goal has to be to become a famous actor, but no matter where we start, we all have the power to choose where we want to end up. You can kind of think of life as a video game, where there are different skins or player versions of yourself that you can select. In each of us, there's one identity that's super insecure and feel like life and other people are out to get them. And there's another version that's confident, thriving, and living their best life. Now, the reality is that we often tend to live in the middle gray area. For me, sometimes my outlook on life directly depends on how much sleep I get. And just because you select the happy, thriving version of yourself doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to magically change into that person overnight. But mentally choosing that identity is the first and ultimately most important step, because the mode that we choose is going to determine our attitude, as well as whether we notice certain opportunities and attract new, amazing circumstances into our life. We essentially have to choose to thrive. But I mean, if you're like most people, and you have any amount of mental baggage from your past life experiences or struggles, it can be hard to immediately switch into this new mindset. One of the best hacks to transitioning and kind of tricking your mind is by dressing the part. And I did kind of think of this partly because I am a style and fashion channel, but I truly believe in the value of dressing well. And not just in the societal sense of looking pretty. What I'm talking about is using style as a tool to express your most authentic self. If the goal here was just to look good for others, that would lead to a pretty cookie cutter look determined by current trends and beauty standards. And I mean, honestly, your physical appearance is secondary to the mental work that's needed to develop your self-concept. But I want to include it first because I think dressing better is one of the most tangible ways to start perceiving yourself differently. To see yourself well dressed in the mirror is such a powerful visual cue to your brain that you're already at your desired self. And dressing well will look different on everyone. The style that's best for you will match your demeanor and your lifestyle. So what does that mean? So first, demeanor. The key to feeling confident in your clothes is finding a style that matches who you are as a person. For instance, if you're not a super showy type and tend to be more of a minimalist, you're not going to feel any kind of confident in ultra high heels or really busy patterns, whereas someone who has a super bubbly and outgoing personality, they may feel their best and most well dressed in said outfit. And I think a big part of this is how masculine or feminine you like to dress. I don't really mean this in the sense of your actual gender. Speaking in the realm of women's fashion, there's definitely a spectrum in terms of girly to boyish styles. We all have different levels of masculine and feminine traits to our personality, so it's really important to reflect those in our style. More masculine styles tend to include things like trousers, blazers, and structured styles, whereas more feminine styles might include things like longer dresses, skirts, and maybe more flowy styles. A lot of us tend to fall somewhere in the middle, and will also change depending on the different events in our day or in our life. And this is where the lifestyle component comes in. For instance, if you like really girly colors and styles, but you're an athlete and tend to wear more sporty outfits, you can blend the two by choosing workout sets that are in feminine colors and flattering styles. Or say you like a really polished and classy style, but you're a mom of young kids and you can't afford to wear anything super nice because it's just gonna get ruined. In that case, I would focus more on the fit of the clothing. You want to look for form-fitting, flattering styles in darker colors that are more stain-proof. So yeah, the optimal style for each person really is gonna look different. A clothing piece that I found to really match my lifestyle are boots. I wanted to introduce the sponsor of this video, Stuart Weitzman. Now, if you're into shoes or fashion in any capacity, you'll know that Stuart Weitzman is the go-to brand for high quality and timeless shoes. I absolutely love boots, and I mean, it's fall as I'm filming this, so it's boot season. And I think boots are the ultimate versatile shoe because they can fit into almost any event in your life. I mean, aside from like swimming and going to the gym, boots are also a great styling hack to look more put together without putting in any extra effort. The first pair that I want to show you guys are the classic 50-50 boot. These are so perfect for fall because they can pretty much go with my entire closet. They're super tall, which makes them super easy to just throw on and wear. And you can make these either casual or formal. As you can see, there are so many different ways to style these boots. But I mean, if there's any boot that I would have to recommend as the most versatile style for your closet, would definitely be a pair of knee-high boots. They're the Naomi 50 in the walnut brown shade. And as you can see, they're embossed with this crocodile leather, which I think makes them super eye-catching but also minimal. Something that's super important to my lifestyle is versatility. And I don't know if I'm just getting older, but I need them to be comfortable as well. So because of that, I prioritize finding elevated styles that are very easy to wear. I live in New York City, so I do a lot of walking. So most days I tend to leave for work around 8 a.m. and come back around 7 or 8 p.m. So I need shoes that I can walk and be in the entire day. And you guys, I was so happy that even the first day, I didn't have to break them in at all. Right now, Stuart Weitzman has launched their new campaign called How Lovely to Be a Woman. And I thought it was so fitting for this video because I feel like we all tend to juggle so many roles in our life. Personally, I always feel like I'm bouncing between my full-time job, my content creation, and having some kind of social life. And I can only imagine that those that are raising a family or are a mom, you guys probably feel an even greater pressure to be a million things at once. So in order to step into our best selves, I think it's super important to have high quality shoes that can fit into every part of your life. So yeah, if you're interested in trying the new collection, definitely click the link in my bio to check them out. Thank you so much, Stuart Weitzman, for sponsoring this video, and thank you guys for all the love and support you show my sponsors. Alright guys, now that we are dressed for the part, I always remember this quote. It said that how you spend your days is how you spend your life. I think a lot of us have this misconception that life is something that's gonna happen to us in the future, and what we're doing day to day is separate from our future goals and ambitions. But in reality, your daily habits determine where you will end up in life. And it kind of goes along with the saying that wherever your attention goes, energy flows. In other words, whatever you prioritize, that area in your life is going to stick and grow larger. So in terms of self-concept, we want to ask ourselves certain questions. One that I think is top priority to ask is, what is my ideal reality? In other words, how would I spend my days if I were in alignment with my dream self? And I want you to get really specific. Rather than just saying that you want a life where you're pretty, popular, and rich, what do you truly want to happen in the next year, 5 years, or even 10 years? From there, we can kind of work backwards to develop our self-concept. For example, if you realize that your dream is to become a world-class speaker that jets around the globe, but you're currently incredibly shy and struggle with public speaking, by identifying your goal and your dream lifestyle, you can also identify the type of person you need to be to get there. And from there comes this second question: what kind of persona is compatible with this desired life? Now, like with your clothing style, the answer to this question is definitely going to be different for everyone, but for every single type of identity, the most foolproof way to get there is through your consistent daily habits. I recommend implementing 2 types of daily habits, one that will move you towards your passion and one that promotes and elevates your well-being. Both are going to be super important to transforming your self-concept. So for the first habit, you want to set around a designated 20 minutes per day. And I mean, if you're like most people and you already have a lot going on in your life, it's likely going to have to be in the very early morning or late at night, depending on what your sleep schedule is. And these 20 minutes are going to be dedicated solely to your passion. In terms of what you do exactly, you want to pick something that will not only better your life, but also is in alignment with your deeper goals and dreams. For example, for me, it's content creation. I do have certain goals of where I'd like my channels and platforms to be at a certain time. So I plan weekly and daily agenda to get myself towards those goals. But yeah, these 20 minutes definitely don't have to be spent doing content creation. It could be reading a book on a subject that you want to learn, or maybe taking a course to learn a new skill. And you might be thinking that 20 minutes is a little too short. Personally, I tend to try and take more time on the weekends if possible. But in terms of guaranteeing something day to day, I wouldn't suggest making it too long, since it can become unrealistic to make it a consistent habit. And I'd like to stress the importance of consistency. True change doesn't happen from a one-off event. If you stick with something and remain consistent with it, you're going to have a much higher chance of achieving your goal, or at least opening up new opportunities. Now, I do have a few hacks if you find this time impossible to fit in. If you go go to work or to school, use whatever duration of commute you have to work towards your passion. Since I personally walk to work, I can't really look down and read something, so I often use audiobooks. And beyond just commute, the same goes for certain monotonous tasks like cooking, washing dishes, and laundry. Audiobooks are truly magical to learn things hands-free. And if you're someone who tends to be a people pleaser, you can actually use that to your advantage. You want to sign up for something that gives you accountability. So instead of just signing up for a gym membership, maybe sign up for a pack of workout classes and also make friends during those classes, so if you don't come, people will notice. If you are someone that needs that sense of external accountability, you'll be more likely to stick to a habit if someone expects you to show up. The other tip that I would have, if you do actually have the time and space to actually sit down for those 20 minutes, would be to make wherever you sit down a sacred space. Now, I don't necessarily mean this in the sense of like crystals or incense, although you certainly could if you wanted to. What I mean is designating the space solely to working on this one habit. When you're at this specific chair or corner, make sure you never do anything else. Don't nap, eat, or scroll on your phone, because doing so can make it easier for your brain to be distracted. You want to dedicate this space solely to your passion, so that way your brain will associate this place only with working and will have better focus. Alright, the second habit that I think is super important to add in relates to your well-being. You want to not only maintain but prioritize your self-care. I can't claim to know exactly what everyone's schedule looks like, so I can't say when is the optimal time to work out. But I mean, self-care has so many facets beyond just cardio. Having a healthy social circle, upholding certain hygiene habits, and eating well are all necessary components to your well-being. And honestly, even though I'm someone who loves to work out, I would prioritize getting your diet in check before hitting the gym. And I don't advocate for starving yourself or going on really restrictive diets. I would just focus on adding in healthy, colorful foods.
Today I'm going to share with you what I tell people when they say they want to start eating healthier. You want to focus on adding, not subtracting, which means you want to focus on what you can add to your diet instead of what you want to take away. Let's take this bowl of cereal. Most people look at this and think, I should really stop eating carbs. But instead of thinking of what to take away, let's ask ourselves, what are we missing? Protein keeps us satiated, so we want to make sure we're having this with all of our meals. An easy and popular example would be milk, because it's a complete high-quality protein. That's why we'll feel fuller and satiated for longer when we have milk and cereal together. The second thing we want to add is fiber. Since many breakfast cereals may not have a good source of fiber, let's add some fruits, crushed nuts, and seeds. Not only will fiber keep us fuller, but it can help control blood sugar levels, improve our GI health, and lower cholesterol levels. Nuts and seeds also provide healthy fats, which can also help keep you full and help with the absorption of vitamins A, D, E, and K. We can still have our favorite carbs, but perhaps as part of a larger meal that will help us stay energized and satiated.
There's basically no way around it. The best version of yourself is always going to be physically healthy. So maintaining a healthy diet and moving your body, these are going to be key pillars to ensure this in the long term. Alright guys, that's all I have for you for this video. Let me know if you'd like a part 2 to this. I feel like I have a lot more points in terms of, I guess, the mental component of developing your self-concept. Again, I'd like to thank Stuart Weitzman for sponsoring this video, and definitely comment below where you are in terms of your personal self-concept and self-care journey. Make sure to follow me on my Instagram and TikTok if you want to see more of the style and fashion content that I like to do. And definitely give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you here. But yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!